Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFolds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot in West Plano, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video right now to help push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram at GrowFolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plants. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. So hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode. We are going to this Home Depot, which is actually known in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as being one of the best Home Depots to house both outdoor gardening plants as well as indoor tropical plants, specifically Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. So I did want to touch base on that, but before we get into the indoor tropical plants by Proven Winner's Leafjoy, I am going to go touch base on some of these beautiful outdoor garden plants. So hopefully you guys will not swipe away. You'll continue to watch this video because this one is jam-packed with so many amazing Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. You don't want to miss that. But this right here, $54.98. So this is a variegated pink Eureka lemon tree. So story time. I used to have one of these. I ended up buying a smaller variety of this one at Lowe's. So you can tell that I go to all of these big box stores. But for $54.98, this is another prime example of a want or a need. This one is definitely a want because I would love to have a variegated lemon tree. I just love the fact that it does have variegated leaves, and on top of just the variegated leaves, it does have very fragrant blooms. It has a beautiful pink flesh for the actual fruit that it produces, and the fact that it is a lemon tree, it does need to be in full sun. So to find a variegated plant that is not going to burn in full sun is pretty amazing. I am a little bit disappointed in the fact that I neglected my variegated Eureka pink lemon tree. I actually have had it growing for about 2.5 to 3 years. I just didn't stay on top of the watering when I put it outside, but it is a beautiful tree. I do love the variegation, and I'm just curious if anybody else grows citrus and lemon type trees. I currently have 2 Calmodian trees, or what you call calamansi in the Philippines, which is where my family is originally from. We call that the calamansi, or what you call the Philippine lime. I have 2 of them that I was able to acquire at a big box store, but for $54.98, this is a pretty awesome buy. I did have to basically restrain myself from buying this plant because as much as I love it, as much as the price is a really good price for a pretty large specimen, I just know that I already have too many plants growing even in my outdoor space. A lot of my indoor tropical plants are already growing there, and you have to think, right? As much as we love these plants, what do we do when we're growing plants outdoors during the winter? Do we try to overwinterize them? And that becomes a dilemma for many of us plant lovers. So for now, we're just going to look at the beautiful variegation, and I'm just going to continue to walk toward the outdoor garden section for Home Depot, and I'll show you some more outdoor plants. pretty sure, as you've noticed right off the bat, this particular Home Depot is jam-packed with a lot of beautiful outdoor garden plants. So I will just spend just a little bit of time, not too much time, in this section. Again, I hope you guys will stay engaged and continue to watch these videos, especially the outdoor garden section. We're looking at caladiums right here. And again, caladiums are plants that I have really debated on whether I wanted to try to grow them this year. I have decided that I will grow caladiums next year and potentially try to grow them indoors. Coleus plants, so these ones are beautiful dark foliage plant. This one right here, I believe, is like for $4. Let's take a look at this. Actually, $5.98. So this is sun to shade. So this one is a more versatile Coleus plant. We're gonna see what people think of Coleus plants. I have been talking about a lot of Coleus plants throughout my big box store plant shopping videos, and I really want to talk about these plants that I'm very passionate about. You know, I've been given feedback that people want to see more of the trending plants, but to me, especially somebody that is creating content for social media, specifically YouTube, I want to utilize my platform to give the message of what plants I am passionate about, because I feel like if you just make content to please everybody to follow a trend, I just feel like it's not as authentic, number one, and as genuine, and then also the joy in creating the content may not necessarily be there. It becomes more of a job versus, say, a fun hobby. So for me, I like to talk about plants that may not necessarily be under everybody's radar, but it's still plants that I absolutely love to grow. Hence, I love talking about Coleus plants. And then over here, plant foldies, $9.98. So we're just gonna keep looking at these beautiful caladiums. So this one right here has a beautiful red heart-shaped leaf on it, as well as a green border and the veining. And then sometimes when you just really slow down and look at the intricacies of a beautiful plant like a caladium, you will see all of the details of the leaves, which just makes it even more stunning. Caladiums, I would say, would be a little bit more of a challenge to grow indoors, but even when I look at Proven Winner's heart-to-heart caladium hybrids, it does say that it is adaptable to becoming an indoor house plant. So for now, I am gonna refrain from growing caladiums, and I think what makes caladiums a little bit more challenging to grow indoors is keeping them actively growing, because caladiums will go dormant when weather gets a little bit colder, when there's not a lot of sun, when the days are a little bit shorter because of the sunlight. And so for me, being able to grow a caladium indoors, you would definitely need to provide quite a bit of light, and it needs to be in a warmer area of the house. Otherwise, it's going to trigger its natural senses of actually going into dormancy and going back into a bulb. Now, as far as caladiums, again, I've noticed that a lot of plant foldies have been growing them. Shout out to Eric out in Minnesota, who actually has a beautiful Proven Winner's heart-to-heart caladium burning heart. And when he posted it on Instagram, it was just stunning. This is the actual caladium right here. Notice how the sun is hitting this caladium. Typically, caladiums need to be in a shaded area, but the Proven Winner heart-to-heart hybrids, these caladiums actually can take a little bit more sun. They're a little bit more drought tolerant, and they are adaptable as a houseplant. But this is that burning heart caladium that I was talking about. And for those that are on social media, such as Instagram, I would really love for y'all to send me a direct message. I would love to just interact with you guys. And if you don't have an Instagram, because I know that we may have a more mature crowd, see if somebody can help you set up your profile, because that is where I really post a lot of my daily activities throughout the day versus just YouTube. So I just wanted to put that out there, and some exciting news I'm going to talk through as I show you some of these beautiful outdoor garden plants. I will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City, August 30th, August 31st. I will only be there for Saturday because I have to fly back to Dallas on that Sunday early in the morning. But I really wanted to go connect with a lot of the plant foldies out in the Northeast areas. So if you are planning to travel, please send me a direct message. I would love to meet up with y'all. It would be fun. I definitely will do a face reveal, because whenever I go to PlantCon, I don't really wear my little funny panda mask that I use for Cultivation Corner. And speaking of Cultivation Corner, it is still underway in terms of season 3. We have not been canceled. Some people were asking if we just stopped doing the podcast. Our schedules, both myself, Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants, my co-host on Cultivation Corner Plant podcast. Our life I've just not really been aligned in terms of our scheduling. So we just decided to postpone it a little bit. We will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. So we'll have a little bit of time to kind of plan and maybe even do a little bit of content to tide all of our cultivators over until we can actually have season 3. Anyways, let's go back to the plants right here. Hardy hibiscus. This one is another beautiful hibiscus. So if you'll notice, hibiscus are typically tropical plants that obviously in my grow zone, which is 8B, wouldn't necessarily be able to grow long-term outdoors because we do get harsh winters, cold winters, icy winters, snowy winters. And so that would just definitely kill the tropical plant. Hardy hibiscus, however, are actually perennials, which means that this plant, depending on your grow zone, and in my grow zone, it would be a perennial. It will actually die back in the winter, but will come back in the late spring, early summer. So as far as the hardy hibiscus, this one would be one I would actually want to grow. Hardy hibiscus would need to be in full sun, however, just because it is a hibiscus plant. And as far as the foliage, you'll notice that it's got some beautiful dark maroon burgundy type foliage. It reminds me of like red wine, and it's just a beautiful plant. Perennials are the way to go, especially if you are growing plants outdoors. I think perennials not only take the hassle of having to replant annual plants year after year, it also will save you money long term, because I feel like, or I've seen perennial plants, once you plant them in the ground, once they are established, they are pretty much a permanent plant unless you do many things to try to get them out of your property. So the perennial plants are the way to go. Hardy hibiscus are the way to go if you're looking for a tropical looking flower but can still tolerate grow zones that get cold winters. And then you can see right here we've got some boxwood. So the boxwood right here is the better boxwood is actually one that I have read is a little bit more compact growing. It's a really good shrub that most houses or landscapes will utilize. Now I'm just going to walk around here and show you a bunch of different types of cactus and succulents. And the thing about cactus and succulents, especially at Home Depot, they are sourced out by the Smart Plants. So that one is for $9.98. I will say Home Depot probably has the better selection of succulents and cactus, just because they also have what they call the Altman Reserve Rare Cactus and Succulent Collection. So you'll see some of that. If I run into it, I will definitely film that. But in terms of just the succulents and cactus, again, succulents and cactus will always need bright light. There are a few varieties that are a little bit more low light tolerant, but for the most part, succulents and cactus need to be in bright light. I haven't necessarily been able to figure out how to grow cactus and succulents long term. I have two that have been growing outdoors, but I just feel like the summer heat has really gotten into it and in the watering. So for those that are a little bit more in tune with succulents and cactus, please let me know in the comment section what your plant tips are in terms of the care. But as far as Smart Plants, this is actually a beautiful euphorbia right over here, and just the plant pricing in general is a really good one. So let's just continue to walk around and I'll show you the succulents and cactus, and then we are going to go into the indoor greenhouse tropical section of this Home Depot. Again, you don't want to miss what's in stored, because if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you are taking a trip to Dallas, this is one Home Depot I would highly recommend going, because it would be worth your while. It is right next to Costco. It is off of the Dallas North Tollway. So definitely check it out. I've seen a couple of local plant foldies go to some of these amazing big box stores. And so for me, if you end up going, let me know what plants you end up buying, because there is a massive 50% off sale for Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, or at least that is the rumor I heard. And therefore, I want to see if that rumor is actually true and whether I will end up buying plants, because I've been really good about not buying too many plants as I've become more consistent, y'all. I have been more consistent this week about having a brand new video of big box store plant shopping. Here we have a Hydra Helix. Just kidding. This isn't a Hedera Helix or English Ivy. This is called a wax ivy. This is for $12.98. Doesn't it look like an English Ivy? What an interesting plant, because it has the shape and look of an English Ivy, but it is actually a succulent plant. It belongs to the Senecio genus of plants. So you can see right here, beautiful variegation. If you didn't touch the leaves, it would feel like it was, you would think that it was actually an English Ivy, but it has a waxy texture. It's an interesting plant. And the problem with this plant is I've tried to grow it. It is very much spider mite prone, just like a Hedera Helix. And when I try to give it a lot of light, it ends up burning, and it's just a very challenging plant for me to grow. So I will just look at it just like all of the other challenging plants while I am shopping. Same thing with this Peperomia serpens. What a beautiful plant. It has, it behaves more like a succulent plant. This one is for $12.98. Beautiful plant nonetheless, and it does have that variegation. I would just say you need to make sure it's got fast draining soil. You need to make sure that you don't keep it too dry for too long for this particular Peperomia. Bright indirect light is what I would recommend. And plant foldies, what do you think about the beautiful plants I am featuring today, at least in the outdoor section? You can see right here, Siam tulips. What an interesting plant. So it is a perennial. I don't know if it would be a perennial for my grow zone. I would do my research on that, but I am just really happy to be out and about filming these beautiful plants at this Home Depot. You know, I haven't been to this Home Depot for a little bit. I would say I need to frequent this one more, because every time I go to this Home Depot, I'm able to film a longer format content because there's so many plants to look at. You can see right here, coral bells, $8.98. And I'm going to be off topic for a minute just because I know there's a few plant foldies that are really concerned about my grandmother, my Lola Belen. She is my 90-year-old grandma that I've featured multiple times on this YouTube channel. She is a source of my inspiration in terms of why I even got into plants to begin with. This past Monday, she actually had a little accident where she slipped and fell around 2 a.m. While she was on her way to the restroom and fractured her hip. She ended up getting emergency surgery day or that evening or morning. And, you know, as far as just the concern, I just am really heartbroken at the fact that, you know, at 90 years old, you know, falls like that can be a little bit critical. I just hope long term that she will still be able to regain her strength, because for a 90-year-old, she is of sound mind and body in terms of the physicality. She didn't even need to walk around without a cane. She has good hearing. She's very conscious about just the people around her. She's very sharp. And so it was really heartbreaking for me to get an update and a call from my mom and dad, just keeping us updated about the surgery. What's interesting is the surgery definitely was a success. She got out of the emergency room and the recovery room, and she woke up from anesthesia, and they definitely put me on FaceTime with her, and I asked her if she knew who I was. So she was very much alert. She knew where whoever anybody was around her. And you know, the concern is sometimes when you go through a major, not even a major surgery, any surgery at that stage of life, as well as anesthesia, there could be some complications. So I am so thankful to all of the prayers, to all of the positive thoughts, to anybody that has expressed any concern for my grandmother. I really appreciate it, and will extend that to her. I will show her your comments in the comment section, as well as the YouTube post I did, because I do plan on visiting her this Saturday when I am off this weekend. So just a little life update. I know it's a little bit of a downer, but you know, as far as what I say in terms of when we live life, you never know what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow is definitely a blessing. Now is the time to just live life, because it's never guaranteed in terms of tomorrow. So my message for all of the plant foldies this today is, you know, remember to live in the moment. Remember to say you love somebody, or to show that care, because you never know what could happen. And then always exude kindness and positivity. And you guys, plant foldies, have shown so much kindness to me, and I am humbled at the fact that even if we haven't met each other in person, even if you haven't met my grandmother, even if she hasn't physically done something to benefit y'all, the fact that you guys have given so much love and care and support after I let the plant foldy community know, and it just goes to show that we have an amazing community, and I am humbled to be part of this community. So let me get off of my soapbox. I am a little bit emotional as I speak there, but if you've been following my YouTube channel, know that I do film plants. I will pick up, say, this Hoya carnosa, beautiful plant by Vigoro Plants. But my content has kind of evolved from just picking up plants, telling you about the care tips, letting you know what the plant ID is, my recommendations, to more of a personal lifestyle blog as well. Even if I am faceless on YouTube, I just feel like you guys have gotten to know me, and I just appreciate those that are actually engaged, those that have not unsubscribed to my channel, and those that continue to just go into the live premiere chats and interact with each other. It just makes this social media platform a little bit more impactful for me personally, and I'm able to chat and tell you guys what's going on with my personal life. I have been told that, for instance, people who do faceless YouTube aren't as successful because there's not a face to tack with the brand. I totally get it, but based on just the engagement and even the concern and care that y'all had for my grandmother, I truly believe that I still have very loyal, very kind people surrounding me on a digital space. But anyways, let me get off of that little soapbox again. I just had a very tough week this week. I've tried to keep things going. I've tried to keep things positive. And I think a lot of just your viewership, your positive comments, and just engaging with me has really helped push me through this week. You know, I will be celebrating my birthday next Thursday, August 7th. I will be 43, and my birthday wish is definitely for my grandmother to have a speedy recovery and regain the strength she has before she fractured her hip. Now, if you'll notice right here, plant foldies, we've got a bunch of these beautiful Hoya carnosa. Some of them have higher levels of variegation. These ones are for $19.98. Beautiful plant. I love that these Vigoro hanging baskets are readily available. And when you look at this particular Home Depot, the plants are healthy. They don't have a lot of damage or anything. They're super full. And so you know, it goes to show that not every big box store is created equal. And so when you find a big box store as amazing as this Home Depot in West Plano, Texas, I don't mind taking the pilgrimage and journey to go plant shopping here, because I already know that I'm guaranteed, and I say this not lightly, I'm guaranteed to find an amazing plant to take home. I mean, you can take a look at this Hoya carnosa right here. Look at how beautiful that variegation is. And you know, Hoyas, they're very forgiving plants. I have a few. I may eventually get into Hoyas. The Hoya bug hasn't bitten me quite yet. I'm still addicted to Aglaonema, and I feel like I will be forever addicted to Aglaonema, but that is okay, because I've been finding ways to wean away from the urge to just purchase plants like Aglaonema when I have more than 100 varieties already. So that's another topic I will delve into, but for now, I'm just gonna walk around and pick up these hanging baskets of Big Girl plants. Again, these are for $19.98. Foldies, you'll notice that they even have large foliage plants like those cat palms. And we also have some Miracle Grow all-purpose fertilizer, $32.97. I would actually buy that big box of Miracle Grow all-purpose fertilizer. I utilize that on my plants. And then we've got some Espoma, I think that's how you, Espoma organic fertilizers. I see a lot of content creators actually making content about that organic line. I haven't necessarily used it, but I might do that maybe next year for my outdoor garden. And then we also have some more plant products right here. So aside from the beautiful plants that you can find at this Home Depot, you will also see many fertilizers, plant products, soil amendment. This one I've been eyeing for a while. I need to go ahead and just buy this Miracle Grow garden feeder, because I would love to be able to fertilize a lot of my Aglaonema that have been growing outdoors. So if you've just discovered my YouTube Big Box or Plant Shopping video channel, know that I have taken a lot of my indoor tropical plants, even my hanging baskets of golden pothos, for instance, and they are all growing outdoors in a shaded area, and their growth is just exploded. It's just so much easier to grow plants outdoors. That is something I definitely revisited with my grandmother, because whenever I look at how lush and full her plants are, she literally has them growing outdoors in a shaded area, and that's really how Filipinos in the Philippines grow their plants. It's really more of an outdoor type deal. The concept of houseplants, again, as I mentioned, is a lot different. I would say in a lot of Southeast Asian countries on that side of the world, plants aren't really grown indoors. It's really more of an outdoor type garden thing. Whereas in the United States, for instance, we take these plants like this Epipremnum aureum or this Marble Queen pothos, for instance, and put them in a hanging basket, and we use them more as like a house decor. I do recommend pothos plants. I mean, this is a beautiful variety right here. $19.98. This one doesn't have nearly as much variegation, but as far as pothos plants, every video, just know every video I'm going to repeat myself because I've already been told that I'm a very repetitive person, and that is okay. I will say get yourself a pothos plant. If you don't have a pothos plant, definitely consider it. I know that some of you guys might be a little bit more into the rare or uncommon plants, but I feel like with plants that are easy care, they will definitely bring you more joy than stress. You can see right here, we've got a beautiful white bird of paradise, and I'm just going to keep walking around and featuring some of the large foliage plants and get into the Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. Can you believe that this large Ficus lyrata tree is only $29.98? That is insane. That is so beautiful. I wish I had the space in my home. I wish I had like large ceilings, tall ceilings to be able to grow something like that. And you'll see right here, we've got majesty palms and just really large size plants. Unfortunately, none of these plants would be able to go into my collection in terms of my indoor space because it would just take up too much space in my home and it would just make my space feel a little bit smaller. That's the problem when you're getting large foliage plants. But look at that, $29.98. That is the Home Depot Garden Club special. And we have some more Alocasia, Philodendron, and Monstera right here. Track that is currently playing is called Charlotte. It is named after my beautiful baby barred rock hen, Charlotte. So just some little tidbits about some of the new music that I've featured. But now we are going to be looking at all of these Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. So Proven Winner, Proven Winners plants, Proven Winners Leafjoy series. Look at this. They have the Terrarium series. This is called Proven Winner Leafjoy Terraform Terrarium. And look at that. $79.98. And you have an instant terrarium with terrarium type plants. So we've got a Photonia. We've got a Calathea. This is exciting. I love the fact that Proven Winners Leafjoy, in terms of just pushing the envelope, not only do they delve into growing plants in a hydroponic setting, such as the Proven Winners Leafjoy H2O bowl, now they have brought in terraform, or what you call terrariums. You know, oftentimes terrariums are just DIY, but now you can go to a big box store like Home Depot and find yourself a beautiful terrarium. They do vary in prices, but let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about Proven Winners plants, whether it's Proven Winners garden plants or the Proven Winners Leafjoy series, where they have really delved into the houseplant business, the indoor tropical plants. This one is for $19.98. So you have a smaller terrariums. Like, I actually wouldn't mind adding a little terrarium into my space. I have recently bought some more Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, and you can see they even have hanging baskets like this. So this is a Hoya Regsan. This is another uncommon Hoya. I love the speckling on this Hoya, and this one I believe is for $19.98. So in terms of Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, I would say they are on another league in terms of Proven Winner plants. You know, these are plants that you know, maybe Urban Jungle, Live Trends design plants, and Costa Farms may not necessarily feature. Like, for instance, they've got a variegated Marantha right here. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, it is in a hanging basket form. This one, again, is for $19.98. I would love to acquire this, but unfortunately, this plant is a little bit more challenging to grow. So for me, I have just really gone into just plant window shopping. So I could admire certain plants as much as I want to add them into my plant collection. I just know that long term in my care and in my environmental space for my home, they're just not going to thrive, or it's going to require a little bit more effort for me to actually grow them. So I'll hold off from that. Same thing with this living hurricane fern. Look at how beautiful that is. It is another type of bird's nest fern, and we've got even more Proven Winners plants to take a look at. So I did see a sign there, like this one right here is for $19.98. This one is a Ficus elastica Ghost Rider. It's really Shivriana. What's interesting about Proven Winners plants, Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, is that they have different names for them, but this is a Ficus Shivriana, although I like the name Ghost Rider. $19.98, but at this Home Depot as of now, it is 50% off, so it's only $9. I think it's like $9 or $9.98, somewhere around that range. And so if I really didn't have a Ficus Shivriana, I would totally buy this. I mean, look at how bright, look at how light it is. It is such a beautiful plant. And you know, Proven Winners, what I can highlight about Proven Winners is, number one, Proven Winners Leafjoy series has a extensive set of Hoyas, which we will be seeing. And then number two, Proven Winners has actually elevated and done different ways of growing plants. So they are the first, at least in my opinion, or what I've seen, the first nursery to delve into growing plants in straight water or hydroponic settings. Now they've actually put in place terrariums. They were the first nursery at a big box store to provide Anthurium dock block Michelles, for instance. So there's a lot of exciting things happening with Proven Winners Leafjoy. I would recommend anybody that is following social media, especially Instagram, to follow Leafjoy Proven Winners Instagram. Let them know you're a plant foldie. Leave some positive comments. You know, it is all about giving people that validation that they're doing amazing in the form of a positive comment. I could definitely use some of that right now, especially with just the way things have happened, you know, the things that are going on with my grandmother and just how busy my life has been in terms of work. I am going to celebrate a win in the fact that I have been able to produce videos, and I feel like I produce pretty good quality big box or plant shopping videos consistently for this past week. So I want to celebrate that for myself, and hopefully this trend will continue to happen. Anyways, I'm going to keep just picking up some plants here. This is the Proven Winners Leafjoy plant. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think. I would definitely love to hear from our plant foldies, and you'll just see, I mean, this is just such a full and beautiful Home Depot. This is the Proven Winners Leafjoy Littles. So these are the Hoyas and different assorted plants. So normally they're for $5.98, but right now they are on sale for only $2.98. $2.98 plant foldies. Where do you find beautiful Hoyas like the Hoya Matilde, which is an uncommon Hoya, for $2.98? Literally 50% off all of these little Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. And that's why I love it. I love going big box store plant shopping, because when you get lucky and you find a big box store that puts their plants on sale, on clearance, or there is a special deal, you will always find value, big, budget friendly. I'm just trying to say that, like budget friendly plants for your money. It's, in this day and age, we are looking for the best plant pricing, and just looking at all of these different types of Hoyas. I'm gonna flash some of the names on the screen, like this Hoya Sea Stones, for instance. Look at that green on green variegation. Plant foldies, $2.98. Now you already know that is such a good price. I'd like to know your insights, and I'm just going to keep picking up these plants. Know that all of these Proven Winner plants are super healthy. I love the fact that they have so many Hoyas. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to start a Proven Winners Leafjoy Littles collection, run, don't walk. To this Home Depot. You need to go to this Home Depot and spend all your hard-earned money on these plants, because they are 50% off. Houseplants for 50% off at Home Depot. You already know you're going to have an amazing plant haul. I mean, take a look at this right here. Another freckled splash Hoya carnosa, $2.98, originally $5.98. And I believe if you also have the Home Depot app, so I've talked about ways to save money while shopping at a big box store. Join loyalty programs, find digital coupons, try to price match. Those are ways that you can also save money. And obviously just compare and contrast pricing from one big box store to another. Now, I would say Proven Winners Leafjoy plants are often found only at Home Depot. I have yet to really see them at Lowe's, maybe Walmart. But as far as Proven Winners Leafjoy, you can't beat that. And I just love that they have terrariums. They've got hydroponic substrates, just straight water. The H2O Leafjoy series, H2O Leaf Bowl is what I'm trying to say. And we just have many different varieties. Like right here is what I'm talking about, the H2O Leafjoy series. This one is just plants that are growing in straight water. So we've got a Syngonium right here. These are only also on sale, 50% off. Normally $19.98, but it is 50% off, and I'm just loving it. Hopefully some of our local plant foldies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area will come visit this store. know, do you see what I see? I know you see it, plant foldies. Look at this new variety of Aglaonema growing it into an H2O bowl. So when I was here last, if you remember my big box or plant shopping video, I ended up finding an Aglaonema in an H2O bowl. So basically the Aglaonema is growing in straight water. It is still doing amazing. It was some type of green, narrow leaf shape Aglaonema, but take a look at this. This Aglaonema is beautiful in the fact that it has white, it has green, it has pastel green, minty green, and white stems. And this bowl right here is for $29.98. I think it is also 50% off, because if it is, you already know, plant foldies, that I will be buying a Aglaonema today. That is like a need. That is a need today. So just know that that is an example of a plant addiction. Like, do I really need to buy that Aglaonema? Probably not, but I don't know, I just feel the urge and need to buy it. So we'll see if there's other varieties, or at least different types of that same Aglaonema. I'm going to choose one that might have more foliage or a little bit more full, but that one was still a pretty healthy looking Aglaonema. And so that actually brought a huge smile to my face when I actually found it while filming. But you'll see that Proven Winner's Leafjoy, terrariums, H2O bowls where they're growing plants in straight water. I mean, you can see the inside of this terrarium. Really a trendsetter for the indoor tropical houseplant business. You know, I always give feedback to all of the big box store nurseries, or the nurseries that provide big box stores. And I always say, if you follow a trend, that trend is eventually not going to be a trend. You need to be the trendsetter. And, you know, maybe I'm a little bit partial, but I always say, I know everybody's into, say, Anthuriums, or maybe those variegated Monsteras, or those variegated Monstera Thai constellation mutations, variegated Philodendrons, certain types of Hoyas. Those are trends. Oh, wait, variegated Alocasias, for instance. But, you know, when you think about what we're seeing today from Proven Winner's Leafjoy, the fact that they're really pioneering a different look, like the H2O bowls we've seen, but for instance, the terrariums, that's creating their own trend. And speaking of creating their own trend, they're also featuring Aglaonema, different varieties. I have never seen this particular Aglaonema being sold at any big box store, or even a local small business or nursery. So for sure, I'm going to buy this Aglaonema. And the thing about Aglaonema is I've discovered that Aglaonemas that are green varieties are so much easier to take care of than the colorful Aglaonemas that we will see, whether I get them from overseas in Indonesia. But let me know in the comment section which Aglaonema you would buy. Would you buy this one? Would you buy the one on the left? Would you buy the one that I originally picked? This one on the left actually has a little bit of a bloom, so you already know that it's living its best life, because if it's able to take that energy and produce a bloom, then it's getting the right environmental conditions. But oh my gosh, that brought me so much joy just to be able to find these Aglaonema. Syngonium pink variety is super root bound, but yeah, this is only for $2.98 since it is 50% off. We're going to keep looking at some of these Proven Winner Leafjoy plants, whether it's the Proven Winner's Littles, the terrariums, the H2O bowls. You can see they've got their own little Photonia varieties as well. $2.98. Plant foldies. What do you think about this massive Home Depot houseplant sale? let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you would buy so many of these plants because they are on sale. I am actually doing very good. The only plant I already know I'm going to just buy today would be that Aglaonema in the H2O bowl that's just growing in straight water. I would be tempted to buy all of those Hoya plants, for instance, because it is a really good price, $2.98. I could get like 6 varieties, but do I really want to add 6 more plants in my plant collection? That would just be 6 more plants that would require me to take care of them, whether it's the watering, the pest preventative, the fertilizing, the amount of time to just even admire them. So as much as I love plants, I have really weaned away and tried to curate my plant collection to where it's okay to just have less plants, but be able to give them the better care and to be able to enjoy them. Then you can see right here, this is another type of H2O bowl. These are the smaller ones, so it's more like propagations. I like that a lot, the Shenandoah series. So whatever that series is, Proven Winner's Leafjoy, again, it's that originality, that creativity, bringing something unique. I have to commend Proven Winner's Leafjoy, and I hope that Proven Winners continues to push the envelope when it comes to indoor tropical plants, because it just makes things exciting. You know, I always say diversity is what makes life interesting, whether it's diversifying where you buy your plants. Again, don't ever let anybody make you feel bad or say that you're taking away from small businesses or putting small businesses at risk by going big box store plant shopping. That is not the case, especially if you are conscious and you know that you want to support local and small businesses. I always talk about local and small businesses like Peta's Planters, for instance. That is one of my favorite Dallas small businesses, small plant businesses in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Definitely check them out, or go shop at classyrabbit.com for some Classy Rabbit soil. Some of the best soil substrate I've ever seen, but that doesn't mean that I'm also not excited to find amazing, budget-friendly, inexpensive plants, houseplants at Home Depot. And that's the reason why I feel like, you know, diversifying where you buy your plants, it makes it exciting. And then also just know that some people, and I've said this in almost all my videos, you may not necessarily have access to amazing small businesses. You may not always feel comfortable buying plants from online because of the shipping and the potential damage that your plants can get. And the only other option is a Home Depot, a Walmart, a Lowe's, a Target, and that is okay. And you know, for those that ask me if I prefer one big box store or not, and I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but you can still either mute me from talking or just admire the plants, whatever you want to do. But I did feel like, you know, certain people have opinions about what big box store they want to shop. For me, somebody had asked me my opinion. I always say, if a big box store, whatever big box store it is, right, can offer me inexpensive inexpensive pricing, amazing service, high quality products, it doesn't matter which big box store it's going to be. I'm going to spend my money, because as a consumer, that's really what I expect from any business, is great service, inexpensive or value pricing, and then also just high quality products. So that's really it. And the service portion, I think, is what will really draw me in whenever I am shopping at a big box store, and definitely the value and pricing. Also the merchandising. I don't want to go somewhere where everything is cluttered, everything is like not organized. It doesn't really compel me to spend my money. But anyways, I had to just go in the indoor section and just take a look at that. But I did show you some of those blooming anthuriums. We're going to continue to look at some more Nature's Way plants, Vigoro plants. This is a little bit longer of a video because they just have so much selection. So the fact that these plants are half off, I am just loving it. I just can't believe it. And it's just really exciting to see that we have 50% off of Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. And another thing I wanted to highlight about Proven Winner's Leafjoy is the fact that they have so many varieties of different types of Alocasia, Philodendrons, Hoyas, Ficus plants, plants that other nurseries that provide at big box stores may not necessarily release and have for the masses. So again, this is a reason why I will go to Home Depot, especially a Home Depot like this. I mean, look at how I pan away. It is super full. Please press the thumbs up or like button for this video if you made it this far and you haven't, or at least press the like button for this video if it's not for me, but for the fact that this is such an awesome and super full Home Depot location. Definitely recommend it, and I would definitely just explore and take a look at these plants. You know, you talk about different types of ficus. This is another type of ficus here. Care tips for ficus, again, bright light. I would honestly just grow them outdoors in full sun. That's what I'm doing, and they are living their best life. This is just absolutely stunning. And even just walking around, you know, picking up these plants, showing y'all these plants, there is a sense of relaxation that I get from, you know, showing a plant like this is Philodendron bellitiae, for instance. You know, this is the reason why I like to go big box store plant shopping. This is the reason why I like to push myself and have a routine on filming. It's one way to help with my stresses, my anxieties, my OCD, whatever you want to call it. It's a way to recalibrate your mind and really focus on positive thinking and utilizing, you know, something like OCD. Like I've talked about it openly, where sometimes I'll fixate on a negative thought. I mean, the fact that I am a little bit worried, really worried actually, about my grandmother, but being able to surround myself in foliage, surround myself in plants, and to also share this experience with the plant foldies, that makes it all worthwhile. And I have to say that as often as I can whenever I make these plant shopping videos, because it is you who is listening to me, who is watching me, who is supporting me, that makes my life, my daily routine on big box store plant shopping well worth it and just so satisfying. And again, plant foldies, as I pan away and show you how many plants we have here, I just wish that someday I could take you guys literally in real life alongside with me and show you these plants in person, talk about these plants, talk about the fact that I love that Philodendron black cardinal, for instance, or this Philodendron green princess. And these right now are currently for only $9.98. That is such an amazing price for a houseplant. Home Depot, or at least this Home Depot, knows how to draw people in. And I hope that, you know, this video gets pushed out to more plant lovers. For anybody that loves Proven Winner Leafjoy plants, for anybody that wants to see Proven Winners Leafjoy houseplants blow up and succeed, share this video. Press the thumbs up or like button for this video. Comment and leave in the comment section what you think about these plants. That definitely helps drive the engagement, because I really do think that at least this Home Depot is a great representation of the Proven Winners Leafjoy brand. And aside from the fact that they have a massive selection of houseplants on sale right now for 50% off at this Home Depot, look at this beautiful palm right here. This is a lady palm. I actually got a variegated lady palm that I need to put in soil substrate very soon from my friend in Indonesia. His name is leafcrafter.id on Instagram. Follow him. Send him a direct message if you want to get some of those rare and uncommon Aglaonemas for a very good price. And since he goes through a broker, you don't necessarily have to worry about having an import license. They do all the legwork for you. But when I think about these beautiful lady palms, for instance, I love that variegated variety that I got from him. And then you can see we've got some hanging baskets of spider plants. This one is for $12.98. Another easy to care for plant, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but I believe that this plant is actually pet friendly. And you know, with me growing my Aglaonema outdoors, Aglaonema are not pet friendly in terms of just the toxicity of their foliage. So I have to be very careful and very mindful when I allow my baby chickens, my barred rock hen and my Plymouth, my barred rock hen, for instance, and my Rhode Island red, in terms of just walking around and eating up some of the leaves. So you have to be careful about that. And let us talk about these gorgeous Aglaonema Silver Bay. Look at this, $29.98. You already know plant foldies. If you don't have one, go to this Home Depot and buy it, because look at how massive this one is. goes to show, whenever you go big box store plant shopping and you find an amazing Home Depot like this, just know that you will find large foliage plants, different sizes of plants, but for such a good value, inexpensive house plants while shopping at big box stores. Like, these are more plants, just an assortment of different types of Hoya carnosas. These are all in 6-inch planters, for instance, for $12.98. Look at that Hoya carnosa. It has a little bit of sun stressing because you've got some pinks. My favorite pothos plant to grow, this is a neon pothos. I love the neon colors. And again, with pothos plants, any pothos plant, know that the amount of light you provided actually impacts the coloration, the variegation of the plant. So more increased lights will probably push out even more variegation. That's really what it's reliant on. And then you can see right here, this is another smaller but beautiful Aglaonema Silver Bay. I ask this all the time, but if you are looking at that plant, why would you not buy that plant, and why would you not have Aglaonema in your plant collection? Again, plant foldies, let us hashtag popularize Aglaonema. Use that hashtag if you have Aglaonemas in your plant collection and you take photos, you take videos, you make reels, you make YouTube videos, you make comments on other people's social media. Use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema. Let's get that Aglaonema species trending. And you'll see that as I pick up more of these plants, a lot of these are just easy care plants. And for Sansevieria, for instance, super easy. Just make sure that you water when the soil is completely dry. And you can even put them in a lower light condition because they are drought tolerant and low light tolerant. Take a look at this beautiful bromeliad. I love the pink in the middle. It looks like somebody just spray painted it on. And you know, bromeliads for me are fascinating plants. I just have yet to add one into my plant collection, just because as many plants that I admire and I love, I am a lover of plants. You already know this, and I'm pretty sure the entire plant folding community that engages in my videos will also agree. But it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to, you know, buy every single plant or add every single plant. We can just walk around and just look at these plants and admire their foliage, for instance. As I pick up these plants and show y'all these plants, what do you think of the current musical track? That is called Twilight. Again, it is created by my good friend Jordan. Thank you so much for lending me original tracks specifically for my YouTube channel. Feel free to leave me some comments and feedback about the new music. I want to make sure we encourage him because his work is exquisite. So plant foldies, as I'm getting ready to wrap up this big box or plant shopping video. I hope you guys have actually seen quite a bit of beautiful plants. I'm just picking up plants by Proven Winners. You can see some of them have been growing long term. This one's kind of stuck to each other. These are only for $2.98. Again, Proven Winner Leafjoy plants, 50% off at this Home Depot. You have to go to this Home Depot, spend all your money, go plant shopping, consume all the house plants that will bring you joy, because Proven Winners Leafjoy definitely has it. I am going to treat myself and get myself an Aglaonema in a H2O bowl, but I mean, look at that. Massive plant selection at this Home Depot. And for those that are listening to this musical track, this one is called Sunset by my friend Jordan. Definitely leave some comments for him. And also, I did want to put this out there for those that don't know, if you do want to drop a super sticker, a super thanks, it is a monetary tip that you can give a YouTube content creator to show a form of thanks. I would definitely appreciate that if anybody is wanting to drop a monetary tip in a form of a super sticker or super thanks. You just have to press the $sign on the lower left side screen of your browser, and also consider joining my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, for only $2.99. It definitely helps support the sustainability of this channel, my passive income, because I work super hard to try to get you this content. You will have access to membership only videos, more access to my personal life, a potential face reveal, and custom made emojis that feature Aglaonema and also my baby chickens, Charlotte and Catriona. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video by picking the Aglaonema that I want to bring home. So this is another candidate. This is candidate number 1. Look at the leaves, and what I'm looking for is, you know, lots of growth, new active growth points, pest free. So I'm looking at webbing, any type of like fuzzy stuff that could be mealy bugs, and all of these Proven Winner Leafjoy plants right now are super healthy. I'm looking at very white, stable roots, especially if it is growing in a hydroponic situation. So we'll see what I end up with, but I'm just going to closely examine these plants, these Aglaonema. All right, plant foldies, I've made my selection of plants. What a fun and exciting big box store plant shopping episode today, featuring Proven Winners Leafjoy plants at Home Depot on sale for 50% off. This is the Aglaonema I ended up choosing. Let me know in the comment section if I made the right decision. And I did end up getting this on sale as well, so I got a great deal. As always, consider joining my YouTube membership tier, and thank you to David, who continues to gift other plant foldies a YouTube membership tier. I really appreciate that. It has been a fun episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, my name is Richie at GrowFolds. Please subscribe with all the notification bell on, and take a look at the screen. Click on the videos that are popping up on the end screen right now, and let's binge watch these videos until my brand new video that is scheduled for tomorrow. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.